An estimated 3,200 fans were in attendance for Nebraska's open practice on Saturday inside Memorial Stadium. It was the first time Nebraska's fans have been in the stadium since the end of the 2019 football season. So it's been a long time, and it was just a good feeling in general to have fans around the program after the long wait. As far as some observations that jumped out here at the open practice, I think a lot of people, number one, were impressed with the development and where quarterback Heinrich Harburg is at already for a true freshman. A lot of arm talent, a lot of potential, and I think there's no question he is in the mix for that number 2 quarterback job with guys like Logan Smothers right now, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if he was the one that came out ahead when it's all said and done by the time the 2021 season starts. When you look at the offensive line for Nebraska, I think there's a lot of questions on which direction they will end up going, particularly at guard. I think there are about 5 guys in the mix. Ethan Piper and Matt Sichterman started out at left guard and right guard for Nebraska, but you have Brock Bando in that mix with Brant Banks, as well as Nuri Newelli. So there are 5 players in the mix for those 2 starting guard jobs, and I don't know if you could really say either any of those guys have a leg up. Trent Hickson was working as the number 2 center behind Cameron Juergens. I think the 2 tackle jobs to me are fairly solidified with Turner Corcoran and Bryce Benhart. When you move over to the wide receivers for Nebraska, Omar Manning, when you watch him, you can see why he was ranked where he is at. He just looks different. You can see the talent. You can see the ability. If they can get him to play this year, he is going to be a factor for Nebraska. You saw that in the open practice. I really like the addition of Samori Toure. We didn't get to see a lot of him during the live team drills, but just at the beginning of practice, you could see what he brings to the table. Oliver Martin is another player that jumped out here in that open practice for Nebraska. A lot of natural ability, a lot of speed. I think the year now in the program, you are going to see him make a very big jump. Will Nixon was another player that jumped out. Hurt his knee a year ago, had to sit out. I think he could put himself in a position to earn some playing time. The running back position had a lot of different players out in the open practice. Marquis Stepp, as we know, did not practice, as did Ramir Johnson and Sevion Morrison. So you saw Ronald Tompkins and Marvin Scott, but another one that jumped out at that position was walk-on Jaquez Yant out of Tallahassee, Florida. He's the biggest back on the roster. I mean, he really runs heavy and strong downhill. He took advantage of those reps, but I thought in general, Tompkins ran the ball well. He looked healthy at times, so that was a positive sign. The tight end group for Nebraska is impressive as well. I think the 2 starters, Austin Allen and Travis Vokalek, are a very good 1-2 punch. The physicality of Vokalek jumps out just when you watch him in action. He's a big body. He's going to be a handful as a blocker for the Huskers. Then Thomas Fedoni, the freshman. I think the challenge is, where do you use him? How do you work him in? He's going to have a role on this football team. Moving over now to the defensive side of the ball, it's a deep group. When you watch those guys on defense for Nebraska during the team drills, they had the upper hand, I thought, for most of the practice. There was no Ben Stille, no JoJo Domann, so a couple key starters not out there. But you could just see the experience and the depth in the system right now that Eric Chinander has with this group. I thought the defensive line got a good push. The 2 starting linebackers in the inside were Chris Kolarovic and Luke Reimer. They made a lot of nice plays. Cam Taylor-Britt, he might be the best football player right now for Nebraska. You see him all over the place, get his hands on the ball. He was even working as the primary kick returner along with Oliver Martin. The one open corner job, Quentin Newsome, was the first guy out there for the Big Red, so it appears he might be the guy that has the leg up in that spot. You saw Isaac Gifford get a lot of reps during the practice as well. He was filling in for JoJo Domann at that hybrid outside linebacker nickel position, so that was good to see him get that kind of work there in the practice. But all in all, it was a very good day just to get out there and see the Huskers. It was the first open practice Scott Frost has had like this in his 4 seasons at Nebraska. I'm not sure we'll see it again. I think a big reason why is they wanted to get a few recruits to be able to come in and take advantage of this. A lot of teams have done this across the country, and Nebraska did it here on Saturday as over 3,200 fans were in attendance. Reporting here with HuskerOnline.com, I'm Sean Callahan.